Hello, friends. It's May the 15th, about 8 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. Trying to do this tape a little bit earlier so I don't go to sleep and sound like I'm asleep. I'm Dr. John WorldPeace, JD, the only global advocate for world peace. I am the only advocate for Jesus Christ. John 14:26. Now, the Bible is messed up in many ways. The Bible was written in about 400 CE, and there was some manipulation of the text, like Jesus saying to Peter, take care of my church. Well, that's nonsense. Jesus was a Jew, born a Jew, raised as a Jew, taught as a Jew, lived as a Jew, preached as a Jew, and was crucified as a Jew. There was no mention by Jesus of a church. When Jesus was crucified, God abandoned the ancient branch of Judaism. The veil in front of the Holy of Holies in the Temple of Solomon was rent in two. And at that point, Jesus became the new branch of Judaism. And the first Christians were actually Christian Jews, because there wasn't any Christianity at that time. So the Christian Jews, who are now called the Christians, became the new branch of Judaism. And the Christians became the chosen people of God, and America became the new Jerusalem in time. There's no question but that God has blessed America above all nations in the world, past and present. And the founding fathers of America were all Christians. So the archaic ancient Jews were no longer the chosen people. And Jerusalem was no longer the center of Christian, eventually was no longer the center of Christian Judaism. There's 2 billion Muslims in the world, 2 billion Christians in the world, 15 million Jews, 15 million Zionists, a postage stamp nation calling itself Israel. Nobody knew what Jesus was talking about. Jesus was not a bureaucrat, a religious bureaucrat. He was a freewheeling individual. And his message, if you look at it, was about spirituality, not religious rites and rituals. Right now, and I'm jumping around here, but you're just, there's so much I have to say that you'll just have to catch up with these things as I go along. The textbook, if you will, is my book, The Third Millennium, Second Reformation of Christianity. Hebrews 8:10-12 in the New Testament, and Jeremiah 31, 33, 35 in the Old Testament are exactly the same. And God is saying, I put my laws in every heart and mind, and nobody needs to teach anybody. That is an anti-bureaucratic, anti-corporate religion. God is saying, you talk to me direct through study, meditation, and prayer, and you will know the truth. And no man needs to teach anybody. All preachers are false. All preachers are dark alleys. So many things in the Bible make no sense. Because one, when the Bible was written, there still wasn't a clear understanding of who and what Jesus was. And when they wrote it, they tweaked some things, and consequently, so much of it just doesn't make any sense. And then we've had all kinds of people for 2,000 years trying to give their truth, and Christianity has over 200 denominations, everyone with their own little tweak and twist on the truth. The truth is, it's you and God. You and God. You sit down, you study, you meditate, you pray, you will find God, you will find the truth. The unvarnished, unmanipulated truth. We are now going through, have begun, what I call the Second Reformation. The first Reformation was Martin Luther. The Second Reformation, Third Millennium, Second Reformation of Christianity, is about getting rid of corporate, bureaucratic Christianity and replacing it with spiritual Christianity. Now, my main topic tonight is going to be about why the book of Revelation is false. First thing I'm going to tell you is that when Jesus rose from the dead, he did not rise up in a human body. He rose up in his spiritual body. He could walk through walls, appear and disappear up into the sky. Can't do that with a human body. That's a spiritual body. The risen Jesus had put aside his human body, flesh and bone, and appeared in his spiritual body. That's why he told Mary, look, don't touch me. I'm not fully risen yet. I'm pure spirit. Jesus said in his ministry, I will be with you always. Where two or more are gathered, I will be there. When Jesus rose up to the sky, he didn't leave the earth. He just became invisible. That's all. His ministry became one of invisibility. He never left. So there's your first point as to why the book of Revelation is false. Revelation is false. Jesus said, I am not leaving. The book of Revelation talks about the second coming. Can't be a second coming. Jesus never left. There's no second coming. So that's number one reason that the book of Revelation is false. There is no second coming. Jesus is here. If you want to challenge me on that, then I want to go to church with you. And when we get into your church, I want you to stand up and face the members and say, Jesus is not here. Now, nobody's going to do that because the whole point of church is that Jesus is there. So he's not coming back. There's no second coming. The book of Revelation is a vision of somebody named John. Everything else in Jesus' ministry came out of his mouth to the hearing of the disciples and those who followed and listened. The book of Revelation is somebody's dream or vision. So, number one, Jesus is not coming back. There is no second coming as per the book of Revelation because Jesus never left. His spiritual body appeared. He said, I'm going to be here with you. And he went invisible, except when he wanted to be. There's sightings of Jesus all over the world. But for the most part, he is an invisible presence. Something else why the book of Revelation is wrong. Jesus said over and over and over and over and over and over again, my kingdom is not of this earth. My kingdom is not of this earth. The book of Revelation says that Jesus is going to come back in the second coming and set up a kingdom on earth. I guess he's going to go, per the book of Revelation, go and tell the Pope that he's not needed anymore, have a seat down in the big St. Peter's Church, and hold court, and people are going to come from all over the world to see him. Jesus said, no, my kingdom is not of this earth. And he is present in spirit, not in a human body. His work in the human body was over. There will be no kingdom of Jesus on earth like a earthly king. Second reason the book of Revelation is wrong. Now here's the main kicker. Jesus said, ask and receive, seek and find, knock and enter. For whoever asks receives, he who seeks finds, and he who knocks it will be opened. If you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. Nothing will be impossible for you. If you believe in me, you will do the things I do and have done. And greater things than these will you do, because I go to the Father, where my kingdom is. What do those verses mean? They mean that we script our future individually, in groups, nations, and a global society. We script our future. You are the product of all the decisions you've made in your life, all the things you projected for yourself. That's what you're living right now. What Jesus is saying is the future is pliable. And to the extreme, Jesus is saying if you all come together in one mind to get rid of the pandemic, all you're going to have to do is say, be gone. Now, Jesus is not a liar. Ask and receive. Okay, you ask it, you receive it. Well, we're going to ask the pandemic's gone. If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. We don't want to move a mountain. We're going to just end the pandemic. If you believe in me and the healings I did, you'll do those things and greater things than that, like in that pandemic. The most important teaching of Jesus. We script our future. The future is pliable. What we project is what we get. The book of Revelation says the future is set in stone, and we're going to have war between Gog and Magog, and that's China, and that's Russia, and that's going to happen on at Armageddon, and all that kind of stuff. And that's a vision of somebody 2,000 years ago, but it's not set in stone. The book of Revelation is wrong because it has a set in stone future, and Jesus says the future is pliable. And right now, beginning with the burning of Notre Dame and between Palm Sunday and Easter on 2019, that's when the Second Reformation began. And the following year, the churches were empty. Now, if that's not dramatic enough for you, folks, and the panic is not dramatic enough for you, there's a lot in the book of Revelations is true. It's just that the whole scenario is mixed up and jacked up. And I'm here to straighten it out. That's what Jesus said. The advocate will come and straighten things out and remind you of what I said. And that's my job. I'm 73 and I've been studying my whole life, living like everybody else, except more intensely. Jesus is not coming back because he never left. There's no second coming because he never left. The future is pliable, not set in stone. Jesus' kingdom is in heaven, not on this earth. Therefore, these three foundational things, plus much more, proves the book of Revelation is wrong. And nobody has challenged me, and nobody else has come up with a future to deal with a pandemic except me. Have a good evening. I'll continue later.